Before we get into this, always remember you can support Run It Back Philly on runitbackphillyshop.com. The No Frauds, No Fanboys, No Intros t-shirt is live. There's a whole lot of frauds running around, whole lot of fanboys. The fanboyism is seeping out of your ears. runitbackphillyshop.com. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for keeping my lights on.
Run it back, Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros.
I have the solution. DJ Eastwood has all the answers. You're in a situation in life where you're looking for answers. I just watched the whole Sixers season again, and they failed again, and I'm just lost. I don't know the answers. You tune in to DJ Eastwood. He has the answers. I have the answers. Here's exactly what you do this offseason to fix this. To fix this. Well, you can't fix this, but here's what you got to do. Number one, you got to get Doc Rivers out of here. You got to get Doc Rivers out of here and know the loss to the Celtics in this playoff series was not 100% Doc Rivers' fault. I don't think the roster is good enough, and Joel and James played like frauds. But players coming out with that lack of aggression, lack of killer instinct in a big-time game says a lot about the message that's being sent by the coach. And we've been saying that the players have joked around about how easy Doc Rivers' how easy Doc Rivers' practices are, and how he doesn't hold players accountable, lets them go do whatever they want. James called him and said, "Can I go to Vegas after?" "Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead." We swept the Nets. We swept a team that's not even a play-in team. I know James came back and dropped 45, but my point is, you went from Brett Brown, who doesn't hold players accountable, who was scared to say anything to these players, to Doc Rivers, who is more buddy-buddy with the players than Brett Brown was. Holds them less accountable. And guess what? You were a terrible rebounding team. You were a terrible transition defense team. You were a terrible team defending the rim. You were getting beat in backdoor situations and in transition all the time. Miscommunication on the defensive end. All those things, that's a lack of practice. That's a lack of repetition. You know? When a shirt falls apart because it wasn't made with dedication and precision. It was just sewn together real quick, and the threads start popping off. Yeah. Lack of dedication. Terrible analogy that was, but lack of dedication, lack of repetition, lack of practice. This team. And it starts from the top. You got to fire Doc Rivers. The next thing you got to do, and I know that Woj thing came out, James Harden is serious about returning to Houston. Please, Brick Ross, I will drive you to Houston right now. I will come and pick you up from the Ritz-Carlton in Philly, or you're probably in Vegas already. I'll drive to Vegas and then drive you to Houston. I swear to God. Please. The next thing you got to do is you got to somehow find a way. Well, before you do this, you got to get rid of Daryl Morey, because he's not going to do that. He's not going to sign and trade James Harden. He's not going to give up on James Harden. Daryl Morey's got to go too. You got to get Doc out of here. You got to get Daryl Morey out here. You tried, Daryl. Thank you for getting rid of Al Horford, whatever. Thank you for D'Anthony Melton trade, whatever. But Montrezl Harrell, PJ Tucker, Daniel House Jr., you signed the 2016 Rockets, old James Harden. You're done, Daryl Morey, too. Get him out of here. You get him out of here. Then you get the Rockets to trade you Jalen Green for a James Harden sign and trade. That's the next thing you do. The last thing you do? I'm telling you right now. And this is not a hot take, and this is not crazy to say. The next thing you do is you trade Joel Embiid to the Miami Heat for Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, and draft picks. And you come back with Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Green, Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Hero You salvage a couple of first-round draft picks for the future. You win 25 games, you get back to the top of the draft, and you sell hope to the fan base once again. That's the solution. There's no fix. You get rid of the Tobias Harris contract somehow, some way. You trade Joel Embiid to Miami. You sign and trade James Harden to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green. You come back with a young team. You win 25 games. And you have a young, energetic coach that's actually going to do something strategic and creative. And you get back to the top of the draft and we start all over. The process is over. There's no fixing it. It's done. You cannot come back here with the same thing. You can't do it. If they do it, if they come back here with James Harden and Joel Embiid, the fan base is done. And Josh Harris's profits are in the dumpster. And he knows that. He's not an idiot. Blow it up. Because guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Joel's not getting any younger. And he just had another offseason where he wasn't 100% healthy. If you don't sell him right now, you're never selling him. And if you never sell him, you're in purgatory for 10 more years. If you don't sell Joel Embiid to salvage some of the assets that you blew over the last 8 years, you're going to be in the dumpster for 10 years. The only way to fix the future is to keep Tyrese Maxey and get back to the top of the draft. That's the only way. Because if you don't sell Joel Embiid right now, and he's not healthy again next year, and he's not healthy again the year after that, and God forbid maybe he has a DeMarcus Cousins type of something, and he's absolutely cooked at the age of 32. He's already 30, 29. If you don't sell him right now, you're never selling him, you're never getting any assets for him, and you're never getting back to the top of the draft, and you are going to be in purgatory for another 10 years. It's the only way. I'm sorry. I don't see any other way. I don't see any other way. What other way is there? What other way is there? Somebody let me know. Let me know what other way is there, man. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Somebody let me know. I'm in the chat. I'm in the chat right now. I'm in the chat heavy. I'm looking for the solutions. That's my solution. Go ahead and give me yours. Go ahead and give me yours. Quadre, we can't trade the MVP. That's bogus. What's bogus is what he looked like in the playoffs again. I don't give a fuck if he's an MVP. Congratulations. Do they hang the MVP banner in the rafters, huh? Are we going to throw a parade down Broad Street because Joel's the MVP? I got news for you. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Lucci produced wings and athletic power forwards. How? Where are they at? Where are they coming from? Everybody wants wings and athletic power forwards. Where are they coming from? Where are you getting them from? What do you think of trading Embiid to the Thunder for Chet and picks? I think the Oklahoma City Thunder are building a new age 2023, 2025 NBA team full of fast players that can get up and down the floor in transition and dribble, pass, and shoot. They're going to be absolutely unstoppable in a couple of years because you can't double SGA. You can't double Josh Giddey. Lou Dort's a great defender. They got the Williams brothers. They're not even brothers. They got the Williams dudes with the same name. Why would they slow their game down? Unless Joel finds a way to start to play like a number 2 option, I don't know. But all y'all that said you can't win with a center being your number one option in today's basketball, today's NBA, it's seeming like you are correct. Jokic is the way you can do that because he's a new age center. He's a shooter and he's a passer. But the old dump it down to the block and take 20 seconds to get a two-pointer, that was 1989. It's over. Sadly, it's over. And I can't believe I just sat up here live on YouTube and said you have to trade Joel Embiid. But there is nothing else on this roster that's going to get you anything else in return, and I don't see any way you can salvage this. That's what I think. Mere streams, Embiid's not getting traded, LOL laughy face. Okay then, the Sixers are never getting back to the top of the draft. The Sixers are never getting out of the second round. The Sixers owners are never going to make their profit again. All right. Fine. They might not trade him. I think they have to. I'm not trying to predict the future. I'm saying what I think they should do. And it's still absolutely unbelievable that I'm saying that out loud. I can't even believe that, but I don't see another option. That's what sucks about me saying that. I feel like a traitor by saying that. I feel fraudulent saying that. But I shouldn't. There's no other way. Shane, what's up, my man? Shane says, I don't think we trade Embiid. Let's get a new coach and then tweak a better roster for one more year. Then no progress, trade Embiid. I think now is the time. You're already on the brink of everybody looking and saying this guy can't get it done in the playoffs. If you go and don't get it done in the playoffs again at 30 years old, the price tag comes down even farther. The 76ers tried to trade Allen Iverson in year 7 or 8. And somebody refused to opt in. If that happened, I don't remember what happened, but they didn't trade him at his highest value. They didn't trade him at his highest value. They kept him for 11 years. They didn't win anything. Allen Iverson's my favorite player of all time. One thing he never did was showed up in a playoff game and played like a fraud. One thing he never did was sit out there on the court and look like he's not interested. All that dude wanted to do was win. The Sixers didn't trade him when they should have to get the most assets in return. They let it go too far until he was done. There was no price tag left. They didn't get anything in return. And guess what? It cost them the next 22 years. Well, that was like 2007. Cost them the next 16 years. If they don't trade Joel Embiid right now and stack up on assets and get this rebuild started quickly, we're looking at another 17 years. I'm just here to keep it a buck. That's all I'm here for, man. Todd Romero, would you want Coach Bud, Nick Nurse, or Monty Williams? I can't stand Nick Nurse on the sidelines, but I think he's the best coach out of those three. I think he's a defensive-minded coach. When he had the right players, he won a championship. When he had the right players, he shut down Joel Embiid with his defensive strategy. I think Nick Nurse got fired, and it wasn't his fault. I mean, who'd you leave him with? Kyle Lowry left. The owner held on to Kyle Lowry way too long, agreed to hold him for another season and do a sign and trade for much less than you would have got from the season before. That was the owner's fault. Kawhi left. It was the only reason they won a championship in the first place. But, you know, you left him with a bunch of role players and Fred VanVleet. What's he supposed to do with that? I'd take Nick Nurse. I would have to ignore him running up and down the sideline screaming in the referee's ear every 2 seconds.
Run it back, Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros.